This is how I made a workbench for just over $100. I started out the video by just cutting 2x4s. Um, 2x4s I used were just some random Home Depot ones, about $4 for an 8-foot, 96-inch piece. I don't know what it is in meters or metric right off the top of my head, but I'll put it in the bottom right corner for you people that hate freedom. Of course, that's a joke. Don't take that too seriously or cancel me. So I cut these into 3 different sizes: 59 inches, 30 inches, and 35 inches. The 59 was for the length, the 30 inches was for the width, and the 35 for the height. And if you can't really tell already, I'm not very good at recording these things. It's difficult for me. I could yap all I want during school, but as soon as I'm recording a YouTube video, it's just kind of I don't know what to say. So if you can not point that out in the comments, that would be great. Or feel free to point that out in the comments. It helped my video. So this is one of my first voiceovers, the first voiceover actually, and you can see me just fiddling around with that little thing. I actually don't know what that is, but I'm just trying to act like I know what I did. I ended up figuring it out. It kind of just holds the things down, the 2x4s down. So I'm fairly new to this miter saw. It's a Chicago Electric. My dad got it a long time ago. So I was just ripping these down. They weren't perfectly perfect, you know? I'm not too good at measuring. Failed math like 10 times or whatever. Asked my friend Luke about that. He got a B in math at the time. Still gonna make fun of him to this day. But, you know. So I was chopping these down, and eventually this video you hear one of my neighbors with this big old, like, I don't even know what it is, like a dirt bike, but a quad. I don't even know what it is. He was just like ripping through the streets with that thing. He was drifting. He was going about. And you might say, oh, you must be so annoying. Your neighbors might hate you because of all the noise I make, but they really don't, compared to that guy at least. I finished up doing that, and I just started cutting the MDF bench up with my circular saw. I don't have a very fancy track saw or circular saw much, so I just use this little trick from John Malachy, I think it is, where you just use a straight edge and use that. That works pretty well for what I'm doing, and it works really well actually. I don't know if I have any complaints. Now, I don't know if I'm supposed to not cut it all the way through and then stop like I did there, but I don't care. I just did it anyways, and I got a nice good sheet for the top. Now I'm going to assemble it. Assemble it by using this DeWalt drill and using a square. This square works fine, but I would prefer to have like the woodworking 90-degree angle squares, because that would work really well and much easier than what I was trying to do here. I was using 2.5-inch screws because I go by this kind of rule of thumb where I want the thickness of that piece plus another like inch where I want to sink into that board, the other board that I'm trying to get it to sink into, and 2.5 was really just the cheapest option in that area. You could see me putting this clamp down. This clamp actually didn't work too well. It kind of prohibited how I could screw in this next screw. So you can see me after this kind of messing with it again to make it so I could actually screw it in. But at this point, I really didn't need it. You can see me really struggling with holding this down, not moving it. It's because that bottom board there is slightly bowed because, you know, 2x4s just aren't very straight. I don't know what I was doing right there. I was just being stupid trying to show it off for the camera. So the finished dimensions of this workbench, when I'm all done with it, should be about 36 inches tall and 33 inches wide and 59 inches long. It's decent size for what I'm doing, at least. Just making small tables and charcuterie boards and cutting boards. Works for me. You can see under that current desk that I have is just a quick trip gas tank, propane tank, whatever you want to call it, and a trash bag that hasn't been taken out in the last 10 years, probably, and some hoses. Not very woodworking items, except the garbage tank that has some wood in it. But my point is that this shed isn't just my shop. It isn't just filled with woodworking tools. I only have a small percentage of this area is actually my stuff. It's mostly my parents' random stuff that they put in the shed. And you might think that most woodworkers can't do anything. You just gotta have this giant shop with industrial planer, router sled, a festool router, and all this fancy stuff, but you really don't need that. All you really need is a couple basic woodworking tools. This is where I magically got the second frame and just started screwing it in. Later, I didn't realize this, but a couple of the spots I didn't perfectly make sure that it was all level for some reason. I don't know why, but you can see there that the battery is completely dead, so I had to go get another one. And once I had that done, I kind of just screwed the MDF top on. I didn't know how else I was supposed to do this, so I just screwed it straight on. I started with all four corners just to make sure, it all fit. And then you'll see me later on going to add more support to the areas. Let me know if you want me to do voiceovers, talk, tell funny stories, explain to you what I'm doing at this moment in the video, or if you want me to just keep quiet and do an ASMR type video. Please let me know in the comments. I would like to know. That's the end of this build. This is a quite functional, very easy to build, fun little project workbench I did. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. It would mean a lot to me. Thank you.